See brown in your face.
Have you heard of Everything at Once?
Do you know about Everything at Once?
It's internationally known.
Aliens listen to it.
It's the best ever.
If there's something you're looking for in the 814, or feeling a little bored and think there ain't no more, check out Everything at Once and allow it to be your source. It's that raw podcast that's always showing support, highlighting the scene. No need to take I-90 to Peep or 79 to see how it be. Interviewing your locals with mindsets that are global. Innovators and creators on every single upload. So much going on in the EPA.
Incredible content.
Everything at Once will keep you up to date.
Amazing guests.
What you doing? Come through and hang with Tony and Dave.
Community driven.
Bringing everything at once from around the way. Everything at once from around the way. Hey.
Please listen. We love you. Everything at Once.
Everything at Once.
It's time to introduce this show.
The best show on the face of the planet.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in today. We want to thank our Patreon producers, Brian G., Josh W., Ian D., Nick G., and Sadie M.
Patreon, it's an awesome way to support the show and say thanks. You can become a Patreon supporter by clicking the link below and choosing to be an intern, assistant, or producer level supporter.
If being on the production team is too much pressure for you, you can also send any contributions using our Venmo at Everything at Once Studios. We now want to thank all the local businesses who supported this episode. These businesses get the Everything at Once stamp of approval and are critical members of the Everything at Once community. We couldn't do it without them. We've all seen those cars covered in rust, rotting out the floorboards and shortening their lifespans. Don't let your car be a victim of the harsh, eerie winters this year by getting a fluid film undercoating at Tommy's Automotive.
Winter is coming. Book your appointment today. Fluid film undercoating with Tommy's Automotive starts at $100. God, that's so cheap.
It really is a great deal.
It's a slamming deal. So you're going to want to call Tommy to get your quote right now at 814-384-8088.
With winter approaching, are there any last-minute details that you want to change or renovate around your home?
I might, but you know who to call.
Yeah, Ghostbusters!
No, Tony. No, not Ghostbusters. Solid State Construction.
Oh, yeah. Solid State.
Yeah.
Duh. Solid State takes pride in all their home remodeling projects. Solid State specializes in bathroom remodeling, kitchen renovation, window and door installation, custom design work, and more, including painting, flooring, drywall, sidewalk, decks. Get your free quote today by calling Nick at 814-397-7854. Solid people, solid product, Solid State Construction.
You know, Tony, with all these renovations from Solid State, I think we might have kicked up some bad energy around here. Yeah, oh yeah. Luckily, we know just the people to go see.
I know it this time. It's Ghostbusters.
No, Tony. Our friends at Cauldron and Thorn.
Wow. I feel really dumb right now, and I can't believe I didn't think of Cauldron and Thorn. The world's largest witchcraft and metaphysical shop, with everything a person needs to channel the spirit world.
Practice some self-care.
Find enlightenment.
Curse your enemies.
Protect yourself from your enemies.
Bless your friends.
Cleanse your space from negative energies. You can check out all the magical wares available for these different practices we all love and enjoy at Cauldron and Thorn, 2724 West 8th Street, or online at cauldronandthorn.com.
This week, we have an incredible guest for you.
Higher vibration. What up, guys? Just one vibration, though.
Yes.
Singular. No vibrations.
It's all one
Only
big
the
eternal
one.
vibration.
Today we got Kyle and Jake in here from Higher Vibrations. You guys probably saw them on the Treehouse. They crushed it. Their music was amazing. It blew minds. Everybody loved it. It was incredible.
Thanks, bro.
Dude, it was great. I love your guys' music. I greatly enjoy it and appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. How'd you guys get into reggae? I feel like there's got to be a story. Your hair's way too long to have just played reggae this whole time.
Man, it's weird. We were me personally, I was into like death metal and stuff like that at first.
My
so,
man. I can tell by that flannel.
It's flannel season. It's fall, baby.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So lots of death metal at first. So very technical, very
fast, very angry.
Very angry. Did you do vocals for that too?
No.
No death metal vocals.
I did backing once in a while, but
Yeah,
it
I did
wasn't
backing
like
stuff
backing. It was more like in the back of the room you hear like screaming, like.
You ever think about adding that to your reggae tunes?
I mean, I've tried to with the stuff on our first album. Like, if you listen close enough, there are parts where it's like a little bit more like raspy and growly, like hidden in the background more though.
A little bit of dirty vocals never hurt anybody.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to fit in with the style I've found, and I'm not that great at it without like hurting myself. Death metal vocals weren't my thing. It was all guitar and songwriting for me in that stage.
It's definitely a talent and a skill to be able to growl like that, or like yell, or like do any of the high pitched shrieking and not like
do it every
damage
night.
your internal stuff going on right here.
Yeah, like touring, people who tour and do that stuff.
It's impressive.
Power to them.
A lot of people have ruined their throats doing that. Like the guy from Avenged Sevenfold. I'm surprised he did it for as long as he did afterwards.
Yeah, I don't really like Avenged Sevenfold anyway, so I don't really consider that a huge loss, but unfortunate for him, for sure.
It is the case, though, where it's like, man, power to him. It's hard to do that every night. It's hard to sing every night, I've found, you know? So pushing your voice that much more is crazy. But yeah, I mean, they were doing that for a while, and then around my senior year of high school, started getting into smoking weed, and was like, hey, does anyone know some cool music to listen to? Like the death metal thing while I'm trying to relax in my room and not really working.
It's a scary experience. Well, maybe not scary. Maybe early on in the marijuana smoking years.
It's like, wow, I can hear everything, but it's like, this isn't like chill music, you know?
No, there's like might be demons outside. I saw a shadow over there, and I'm pretty sure that was like Satan himself moving in from my closet.
Off weed?
Off weed?
Oh,
well,
wow.
early on in weed. Maybe not like an
devil's
experienced smoker, but like first few times early in like high school and stuff, listening to death metal, like driving by, like on like street lights going by and stuff in the back of a car, and you're listening to some really like heavy fucking shit.
The first time I ever smoked, I was with these kids. I was in like 14, 15, and I watched them throw a brick at one of their friends, right? This girl that was with us, and I was like, hey, you can't mess with these people. So like I got like real high, you know, and like and just didn't say anything, but I blacked out, right? And off weed, it was the only time it ever happened. But we're driving around in this Astro van, and I don't remember this, but I just didn't say anything the whole night. And then Snoop Dogg's Gin and Juice was playing, you know? And they were like, right when it hits the part like 6 in the morning, I was just like, 6 in the morning, you know? Yeah. So I feel it. You got to have some chill music when you're smoking pot. Right.
Mm-hmm. So that's when you kind of discovered reggae, so to speak?
Yeah, I had a friend who recommended the Expendables and Soja. I got really into Expendables at the time. And then I just kind of fell more and more in love with that kind of music until it slowly made its way into our style. We had some member changes and stuff. People came and went. Our original vocalist left. So we were kind of just left with me, Derek, and Jake. And we all had a reggae side project that didn't go anywhere anyway, so it kind of naturally just fell into making reggae from there.
Right. And how do you not fall in love with reggae? I feel like it's definitely like one of my favorite genres personally.
Yeah, man.
It's the best music ever to wake up to too. Like you wake up in the morning, you're getting your like coffee and stuff, you throw on some reggae. Oh my God, it makes my days 1,000 times better when I actually do that.
Absolutely. It's like vitamin D.
Yeah, dude. Go in the sun, listen to some reggae. It's amazing. So when you guys came, or the first time I saw you, I was very impressed that you guys are like a trio band, which is not the case anymore.
Yeah, we got our boy Lopaka Roots on the keyboards when he can make it to the shows, of course.
Yeah,
because he's got his own music that he goes and plays
for sure
when he can.
Yeah, he was just on the Treehouse too, and his music's super cool. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so you transformed into reggae. The reggae took over. It grabbed a hold of your soul, speaks to you now. and has infiltrated the band. Oh, I was going to say something about you guys being a trio and how that's really interesting and cool because you don't really, usually when you see bands, there's like, very seldom is it a trio. Like 9 times out of 10, it's like 4 plus.
It's kind of scary to do a trio, honestly, because you're like as bare bones as you can possibly get.
Right.
You know?
If you mess up, like you're gonna know, and it's gonna like be like that's how I would feel. I would very much internalize it. Like, oh shit, it's all on me. There's only 3 other people to cover for me if I fuck something up.
And everyone's filling their own space too. It's not like there's 2 guitarists and it's just like, oh, maybe that was him who messed up or anything. It's like everyone knows who's playing bass, everyone knows who's playing guitar and singing, everyone knows who's playing drums. So if any of those mess up, it's like,
Yeah, we know
that
who
was
you were.
obvious.
Yeah, dude, you did it.
It's got like a very like punk rock, you know, the trio setup, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a punk rock feel to that for sure.
That lead rhythm.
yeah. And we also utilize a backtrack too. So when Lopaka can't make it, we have like a keyboard and like background vocals and bass drops and any like electronic elements that'll play through the speakers too, because we have like a click in our ears. So there's a constant
Nice, dude.
And that in and of itself is really terrifying, honestly.
That click.
Because if you fall off of it,
Very noticeable.
yeah.
Everybody knows.
Oh, yeah.
The band doesn't adapt. The click overrides.
There was actually a point at the show you recently came to at the Rook. Right during the intro, we fell off of it.
Your new intro was really cool, actually. I'd never heard it before. It's just
Yeah.
really like jammy and chill. I appreciated it
That
a
was
lot.
the 3rd time we've played it that way, I think. But yeah, like during like the first part, we were watching the clip back because we had it like being videoed on our phones and whatever. And you can see me like literally put my hand behind my back and like count out the clicks for Derek to help him fall back on in the right spot. So it's scary, man.
Yeah.
You fall off of it, the whole show can fall off.
Do you think that the metal background makes your music more difficult or more challenging or technical in some ways?
To us, no, because it's kind of what we've been doing. But since Lopaka's joined and he's had to learn our stuff, he's like, dude, this is like actually really complicated for reggae music. And for us, it's just like, well, we've always done it this way, so we don't see it as difficult.
Like,
but hearing it from an outside perspective, I
like-
guess it's difficult.
What kind of stuff would be difficult? Like weird time signatures and stuff?
Not really, but like the amount of chord changes at different points. There's a lot of like taking instruments in and then dropping them out at different spots and stuff. Just so it's not like a constant loop the entire time. You know, there's a lot of reggae music where it's just the same chords the whole time, the same bass line and same drum beat the whole time.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that by any means. You know, keep it simple is kind of one of the cool things about reggae. Is you can be
sure.
as simple as possible and still have a good song. But I like to keep things spiced up. You know.
Yeah, for sure. And it makes I think it makes the music a lot more interesting to listen to when you have stuff like that too. Not that simple isn't interesting or can't be interesting, but I like the extra little bit of flavor in there that I find in other musics and genres kind of transcending the boundaries. And a lot of times I like it when songs sound simple, but in real life, like to like somebody that actually knows music, they're much more complex.
Oh, yeah.
I've found there's a lot of that in the reggae genre itself. There's a lot of finesse to the techniques, like for instance, like the thing everyone knows about reggae is like the guitar or the piano thing, that dun dun dun, and there's so much finesse to how that actually has to be played in order for it to sound right that I wasn't even aware of. Then Lopaka, who's like I said, who's had years of time to like be in this genre and practice it back in Hawaii.
Yeah, he's huge in Hawaii. He's crazy.
He came in, he was like, yeah, it's good, but here's the things you got to actually do to like fine tune it and actually get it where it needs to be. And it's really cool to have someone actually come in and be able to kind of help us redefine or like, just better finesse the genre.
Right.
'Cause until he came along, it was just us and
Figuring it
no
out.
one really to look up to locally who was like,
This
has
is how you do it.
expertise in it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super important to find mentors like throughout all sorts of different kinds of things, like in life in general and in music. And a lot of times I think that like a little bit of critical feedback goes like a super, super long way, especially like when all you have is like yourself, like you're your best resource or whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't know shit because like you've only ever had your own learning or whatever. So it's really important to find those mentors to help guide and help carry, and to listen to that feedback, and like listen to yourself too. You mentioned that earlier, that you are like watched your show back, and I think that's super important, and it shows a lot of acumen and musicianship to like actually go through and to listen it back and like see like where you can do better and what you can do better and how you might be able to change things or how you can tighten stuff up. And that's something that like we've had to do with this podcast for sure, is like listen back to every episode. Like
It's so important.
It's the worst. I hate watching myself back. Like, I do it, but I'm just like, you idiot, you know?
You're doing
why are you so dumb?
Like, I swear I was doing that.
Right. But it's really important because it's helped us get like a lot better at doing this kind of stuff and chilling and hanging out and having natural conversations.
For sure. We've recorded all of our shows pretty much this year, and it has been huge, just helping us get better, see what works, see what doesn't, see what looks cool, see what doesn't look cool,
Right.
what sounds good, what doesn't sound good, you know.
And
It's important.
you guys record all your own stuff too, don't you? That's awesome. So that's quite a process to take on as well. Is that something that you picked up like right from the gate, or something that you've kind of learned over the past like year or so since you guys started performing? How long have you been performing? Sorry, I just asked like 7 questions at once.
That's cool. As Higher Vibration, 2 years, but me and Derek have been jamming together since high school, so at least 8 years or something like that for me and Derek, and then
I think it was
you
like
joined
2017 or something like that, or 18.
yeah.
I can't remember.
So
It's been about 5 years, 6 years.
yeah, however many years that is how long we've been jamming together with at least these 3 people.
Doesn't seem that long ago.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't the recording guy at first, but really what it came down to was we got sick of waiting for people, like waiting for other people to turn around with their mixes and stuff, just for us to be like, change this, that, and the other, and go in this loop with them, and then wait again. I was like, dude, we're never going to be able to release anything at this rate. Not only that, but it's expensive.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was like, I'll just learn how to do it myself.
Yeah.
And it kind of just went from there. And I actually fell in love with recording and producing and getting to paint my own sound canvas, or whatever you want to call it, you know?
And it allows you to do those, like your backtracks and stuff too. I'm sure that was probably a big part of it.
Oh, yeah. That definitely helps for sure.
Cool. I kind of all just learned recording over the past year and learned all of the technical aspects of it and stuff. And I've been having like a tremendously fun time just recording and mixing and doing stuff and making my own sound out of other people's sound and all that. But it's definitely been a process too. You know what I mean? I've fucked up a lot of shit for sure, and stuff has taken way longer. And I was super psyched. I got to go to Suma Recording Studio in Ohio with Tyler when they were doing all their when they were recording their new album, which is coming out. Smilo and the Ghost, Tyler Smilo, he's a good friend, and it was really cool to see how like an actual studio does things. You know what I mean? And I think that like provided a lot of inspiration. You know, it's like running into those situations where you find somebody to teach you, or you're in a situation where you can learn from what's going on around you, you know. Future goals, life goals. So your music is like really positive and upbeat. Is that something that you had set out to do from the very beginning of your of switching to this new reggae music?
Not necessarily. I feel like it just kind of fell into that place, because it wasn't like there was like a deciding moment of, okay, we're going to definitely just do reggae rock now. Like, it was something that slowly happened. So I feel like as time went on, I just naturally became a happier person.
Yeah.
So
How did that happen?
Yeah, how do you do that?
well, I feel like
Festivals.
festivals, new perspectives, meeting people, being just exposed to like,
That happy feeling.
Yeah. That sense of community too is so huge at festivals, you know what I mean? I think that's what really makes them such amazing places, is that like you're with a bunch of people, all of your worries disappear for a little while, and you can just like be a human and live and eat and run around and enjoy yourself.
I think it depends on the festival.
Yeah,
There's definitely like, I remember when I was I don't want to date myself too much here, but I remember like how Bonnaroo used to be, you know, and like I haven't been in a long time, but I had friends that kept going until it got way too commercialized. It's like it just ruins the vibe, you know.
Brings too many like unwanted people, unwanted things, and
You know, you get people that like I don't know, like I'm a big Deadhead too, and there's a fine line between everybody vibing and having a good time, and then it turns into like a bunch of people just getting as fucked up as they possibly can, and just, you know, they're not chill people. They're just there to like party as much as possible.
and get away from their problems. They're not there to actually try to live the moment or be like the actual moment of the festival.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that a lot of times the baggage does get brought in, you know what I mean? And it's people trying to escape from something or disappear for a while and obliterate themselves and just be, I don't know. There's also like, you know, people that are in bad ways, you know what I mean, that make it out to the festivals that are hurting for something and find other people that they can use to get what it is that they're looking for, you know?
Take advantage of the situation.
Exactly, you know?
With every situation, you're gonna have the good and the bad, and that's just how that goes. I feel like,
But your experience overall was pretty positive.
not every time. There's definitely been times at festivals where I've just been kind of like in like my camp chair, just like I want to go home.
Yeah,
having a good time right now. But you know, beyond going to festivals and stuff, I feel like a big part of the positivity comes from music itself is just a therapy for me. Like when I'm writing lyrics, a lot of the times, like I will kind of look at my own issues or stuff that I'm dealing with and almost try to turn it so I'm writing to myself, trying to like kind of be the person that I need in that moment, because that's what music's always been for me.
Sure.
Is like my times where I've been at my lowest and hurting the most is like music has always been the thing that helps get me through it in those moments, you know. So yeah, I feel like it's part of it's just because I'm healing myself when I'm writing it, and I feel like it just other people pick up on that.
Yeah, it definitely permeates out through the music to the other people, I think. Especially when they're like listening, you know, when people see you guys live and performing and bringing the energy and all that stuff, there's something that's like really, I think, entrancing and spiritual and beautiful about a bunch of people all just like listening to the same shit. You know what I mean? Whether it's music or whether it's watching a movie, you know, any sort of like communal experience where everybody's kind of got that hive mind going on, you know what I mean? Where everybody's like connected or on the level, you know?
100%.
Yeah, it's very special, and music is one of the best ways. It's one of the oldest ways that humans have ever like really connected, I think, on that kind of level where they're all working as like a cohesive unit to maybe not accomplish something, but to be like just be there together, you know?
Just vibe.
Just vibe.
Just vibe.
Everyone just surrounded by the sound and letting it take over, you know?
For sure. So it was a gradual transition, and you got happier in your life through producing this music, and now it really permeates through the records, you know, and it has like your own personal flavor too, especially like that's like 100% you guys. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of artists can't say that in their own way because there's always, not to say that there aren't other hands that play a part in your music, but like recording it, writing it, producing it, mixing it, everything, all you guys.
DIY as you can possibly be.
Good. Yeah, you guys probably have some similar studio set up with some mics and a little sound booth and stuff plastered on your walls. I love it.
For sure.
And you made the video too.
Yeah, the Live Your Life video.
Yeah. It was impressive.
Thank you. That was my first attempt at making a video too.
Yeah.
I'm really stoked with how that one came out.
It's a lot of work. People don't realize that.
Editing, man, took days.
Days. Yeah, I don't know. There's ways to streamline it, and I'm starting to figure that out more and more, you know, as time progresses.
Yeah, you learn your rhythm with how to do stuff the more you do it, for sure.
Right, and how to shoot and how to time things and everything like that. It's all just a process. So, like, what's the goal? Be world famous rock stars?
Ooh.
I don't know if they're
headline all good.
You know, I've thought of this a lot over the years, and the reason changes a lot from time to time. I mean, there's the obvious part that I think a lot of people originally start with music, which is I don't want to work a day job.
Yeah,
I want to
fuck
do something.
that.
I want to do something I want to do with like that brings me joy. So that's obvious. That's of course a part of it. But as time has gone on, I've kind of had to think of what success actually is to me, because realistically, like, not everyone can be a rock star. Not everyone can be a millionaire. And frankly, I don't want that kind of like, all eyes on me type thing. I'm a very introverted person. I like my space and my alone time and stuff. So I feel like for me, at least, it's more about, it's just the thing that brings me happiness. And I found that I can't quit. I've tried quitting. I've tried being like, yeah, I'm just going to put this down for a while, but I can't. It's just what I do, And then there's also like the thing that keeps it going, which is like how people respond to it. When people say, oh, this music means a lot to me, or this is really healing, or this has helped me deal with XYZ in my life or whatever. It's like, okay, well that adds the fuel to like, even when things get hard, to not just be like, okay, well I'm just going to be a studio musician and, not bother doing all the hard parts of it or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's so much to it, but I guess just the love for the craft and the love for the healing power that music actually has for people.
I've heard that, but just watching documentaries, listening to interviews and what have you, just from like very popular musicians, that's the best part of it is when you have like 5, 10, 20,000 people like singing your lyrics back or vibing. It's just like the most addicting feeling in the world to just like not so much have control of that many people, but to have that many people like vibing on something that you created.
Feeling the feel.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be like, even if you have like 1 or 2 people, like, or you have like 30 people at a concert, it's got to be the coolest feeling just to like have people like connect with things that you've created.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do massage therapy. So some of my clients actually became some of our fans. We have a family that comes and sees, and they've become like part of our family.
Shout out to the Oviats.
It's crazy because like they told me some of their stories. They're just like, they work their normal jobs, and like me and him, we work our normal jobs. But once we found that bit of, I guess, that freedom from that normal, we just got to go to work home, home. We felt that happiness, and we were like, oh man, we can make this a part of our thing, know. But unfortunately, as an adult, you need to pay bills.
Right. Boo, bills.
So fortunately, as you go up, you kind of have to, the bar of what you require to play more or do more, goes up. But it always comes down to wanting to help people and bring people together and just finding our people, our tribe.
Yeah, and there's like a fine level of balance too through adulthood and like working to support yourself versus following your passions, and it's like really nice when they both kind of coincide and you can make money off your passion somehow. You know what I mean? It's
the dream.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
And finding that balance is really difficult, because if you want any business or any enterprise or any endeavor to like be successful, you have to put the time in.
Absolutely.
And especially with like creating music or doing any sort of creative event, you're going to spend a lot of free time doing it. And it has to be something that you like enough to want to spend that actual free time. And because it's really fucking easy to sit on the couch and watch Netflix for like the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Or if we've had multiple, musical guests on in the past where like you get older, you get married, you have kids, there's no time to watch the Netflix, or you got to really crunch just to get your creative side going, gig and stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's such a huge part for a lot of people too. A lot of people like grow up and like are working so they can have a family and have kids and have that, the 2.5 children and the white picket fence and the 1.5 dogs or whatever that you're statistically supposed to have.
2.5 kids.
Yeah, or 1.5 kids. I'm not sure how many the like you're supposed to statistically have to be like a healthy, productive member of society. But where was I going with that? Oh yeah. That's like a really big inhibitor from people following their passions, because they have to get the job that provides for that and takes up all of their time and leaves them tired at the end of the day, where they just want to watch Netflix so they can't, you know, call up the homies and do some sort of creative endeavor like making music or podcasting or like following your other passion, whether it's art or whatever, you know, it is that you're into, woodworking, metalworking, any of that stuff.
Pickleball,
dude.
That's pretty popular.
Yeah,
right now.
I couldn't tell you how many people mention that. I'm like, man, what is that?
Dude, pickleball is fucking dope.
Oh, it's dope.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
It's like the in-between ping pong and tennis. It's very fun. But what I was saying, Dave, before I got thrown off track, is that like finding that balance and taking advantage of your time and using it in a good way is so difficult and challenging. And how do you guys think that you are able to manage that? Do you see that like ever becoming a problem for you between like relationships?
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first with this one?
Like where it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah. Becomes overwhelming, and it's difficult to balance like your life goals and your music goals and your normal like productive life goals.
I mean, there might become a point where it demands more of our time, where we don't have like the ability to do, I guess it comes.
People.
Yeah, like essentially we are building a business. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
It comes down to the heart of the business, where we're not, the heart of the business isn't to take advantage of people, it's to build and bring people together. So essentially we do want to make it so. I mean, that does accompany with overwhelming, stressful situations, and sometimes we'll have to bite the bullet and just be like, hey man, we need to bring somebody upon us to handle this, because unfortunately, everything does come to a halt, and when you focus on something, other things struggle, and when you're in something like this, everything needs to be able to withhold the struggle.
Yeah. Having good members and stuff that show up and are willing to put in the time, especially like
get a team going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys were having multiple shows a week for a while there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like this lifestyle is the only one I've known my entire adult life. So it's like, it's just kind of how I exist now.
Yeah.
Because I was lucky enough to figure out that I was passionate about playing music when I was, still young. Like I think I started playing guitar the year between my 8th and 9th grade. So about 10 years now. And it's just, like I said, it's just been all I've known. So it's like, I'm just kind of willing to keep going, because what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
with
You said
myself?
earlier that you like tried to quit and can't.
Because I just end up, okay, well, what am I going to do? I'm bored now.
Yeah.
I want to write, I want to play music. I want to write some music. So it's like, no matter what I'm doing, whether I'm doing it for this band or doing it for myself and just making music and not showing anyone or whatever, like that's just always going to be how I express myself the easiest at this point,
Right. I was having like a big internal struggle like the other weekend about not having anything to do. Like over the weekend, I'm like, oh shit, I don't have like any editing or any like shit to post on social media or like podcasts to make or things to book or whatever. I'm just like sitting here like, what the fuck do I do now? Like, am I a waste of life now because I'm not being productive and I'm not working on something? Or is it like acceptable for me to sit here? Obviously it's acceptable. It's acceptable, but it's still like that internal struggle, that internal challenge of like not being productive for a little bit, because like you said, it becomes your whole life and it absorbs you and it becomes the way that you live, and those moments outside of there become uncomfortable, outside of that grind.
I think it comes down to like, and this is something that we were talking about before we went on the air, and from your music I've listened to, it's definitely like a main focal point of it. As I get older, striking that balance is greatly helped by like diving into like an unbridled world of spirituality, and like using that for guidance. And that's a very important aspect of your music. It's, I'm assuming, also a very important aspect of your lives as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think that is a really good point too, because there's so many shortcuts you can take. There's so many shortcuts you can take in like so many different aspects of everyday life. You know what I mean? Like, you could just not pay somebody, you know what I mean? Or you could rip somebody off, or like do all these things to shortcut yourself and save yourself time and money and effort. But the counter to that is that eventually it always catches up, you know what I mean? If you like stole a track off YouTube that you really liked and then wrote a song to it, eventually like it's not going to have that same quality or that same feel or that same thing. And the worst part is you're going to know you fucking stole that shit, you know what I mean?
Well, then it depends on. Sorry, you just
on,
popped something in my brain because
I was just going on the spirituality and living like a spiritual life and doing good by yourself and others.
And yeah, I agree. That's the spiritual way to do it. I think the other side of it would be like, you know, with the spirituality, if you're a well-aligned person, like you want to do things that make you feel all right. You know, make you feel good about being on this earth. Maybe there's some people who don't care if they ripped somebody off.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
They're still enjoying themselves.
They're still getting that same
riding the
dopamine
wave.
release of accomplishment that we are from actually doing something. In the brain, chemically, it's the exact same thing, you know?
They're just not quite aware of their unity with the rest of the universe. Because if you're aware that of like, you know, people talk about like oneness with the universe, and it's like the higher spiritual stuff, you know. If you're aware of that, you're not inclined to rip people off because you feel like you're ripping yourself off in that same regard. If you steal from someone else, you know, you're stealing from yourself and it'll come back to you, like you were saying. You know, if you steal a song off YouTube, okay, well, don't be surprised when someone comes along and steals your music. You know? What goes around comes around. It's the whole, as a cliche as it is, it's very, from my experience, it's very true, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it always comes back around. And even if it like, if you stole somebody's music and your stuff might not get stolen, but it's going to deteriorate your quality. You know what I mean? It's going to deteriorate your ability to persevere and to make your own things. And it's going to take away that experience of like, you know, actually putting that shit together. You know what I mean?
Or it could very really deteriorate your reputation.
Oh, of course.
You know,
of course.
someone catches it and is like, yo, dude, like, you hear Higher Vibrations stole a Bob Marley song? You know? I knew I heard Three Little Birds before.
They're
Like,
covering Buffalo Soldier, dude, and saying it's theirs, OG stuff.
No, I know too much about copyright law to get myself involved in that kind of mess.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that any of you guys would do that. I'm just like,
Oh, I know.
It happens more than you think.
yeah. No, it does too. It happens all the time. And I feel like in certain genres, it would be very easy to, because a lot of people make, like, such as yourselves, are making very good music that is not super well known. You know what I mean? Somebody in California or somebody in Florida or whatever has never heard of Higher Vibrations. Like, yeah, take this song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the fears that led me to actually learning about, you know,
The copyright?
Yeah, all the business and stuff about the music stuff, because that stuff's very real. You know, people will, and it's not uncommon for people to steal music from lesser known artists and then have it blow up and stuff like that. So
Right.
it's a good. It's interesting how stuff like that can really push you to be more professional, I guess. You know. So if it weren't for our being scared of being taken advantage of and stuff like that,
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have much interest in researching copyright laws and
No.
how record label contracts work and stuff like that, you know?
That's so important too.
It's necessary.
have you ever, like, when you're composing songs, is that part of your process? Like, have I heard this before? Or am I stealing this from someone?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you catch something, you're like, oh man, that sounds way too close to this one other song. I don't know if I should do it or not. You know, there's a degrees, like I feel like every musician to some degree bites something they've heard, you know, in the past, but you know, it depends how close it is. But there totally is times where I'm like, I didn't know, I can't use this one. It's too similar. Bro, this is literally Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. We can't use this.
I swear this is the melody.
That's interesting. Do you guys have a LLC?
Not yet. That's something we've been talking about a lot this year. We have not had the time to actually get it going with all the shows we've been playing on top of, you know, working day jobs and just having to be human beings.
Yeah,
that
eat food and
function.
shower and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, I feel it. it's pretty easy once you actually just sit down and do it. But I was just curious.
Yeah, we're taking a big 3-month hiatus starting after this show we have at Basement Transmissions in November, and then we're going to be off till March and just spend a lot of time with ourselves, tend to our own needs, but also do stuff like that, like actually register as an LLC, get a PO box set up, get more merch, all this stuff we've been kind of just putting off because it's like, dude, I'm tired. I'm trying not to burn out here.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a cool show. I'm excited to see Big Blitz. I love like saxophone mixed into any genre of music, really.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Have you seen them yet? Or
I watched a little bit of YouTube, but I like some other bands that are pretty similar, like Big Gigantic and Moon Hooch. I am kind of disappointed that Big Blitz does not. If you're listening out there, guys, Big Blitz, you guys should I will steal a traffic cone for you against my spiritual principles if you put it in your saxophone for me, because I just need that in my life after seeing Moon Hooch a couple of years ago.
they told me they are students of the guys from Moon Hooch.
Oh, yeah?
So
Maybe they have. I hope you're listening, guys. You got to find that traffic cone, dude. There's just something special about it. I don't know.
Y'all are road warriors.
Yeah.
There's plenty of traffic cones on the highway.
But no, I'm super excited for that song, or for that show at BT. It's going to be great. Yeah, me and Celinda were already talking about going and making plans and arrangements. It's going to be sweet.
Them and our boys in Land of Panda. Have you seen Land of Panda yet?
Land of Panda, no.
They're so good, dude. They're our band BFFs.
I think they liked one of my things, though, recently. The name is familiar. I think they liked something that I posted, one of the Treehouse sessions or something like that. I don't remember, but the name's familiar. That's awesome.
It's probably the little Ponca one. I think I've seen them comment on it.
Yeah, that might be it.
Funky reggae rock.
I love it.
You'll enjoy it for sure.
Deep bass, just funk. I feel like the funk kind of transcends every genre when you have a good bass player. That's just like the part of being bass, like playing bass, is just being a little bit funky, dude. With that,
hold down the funk and hold down the groove. That's your job.
That's right. What other kind of genres do you guys like to listen to? And how does Higher Vibrations fit in to like current music?
It's a loaded question.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I listen to a lot of jazz, man.
Yeah,
Jazz is dope.
Reggae as well, but I like I said, I do massage therapy. So what I do is I'll just put on like an artist I like on Spotify, and then I'll just go on and go on and go on. Like we got to the end of the year, I had like it was like 98% in the world.
Oh
And I
yeah,
had, like
music
nothing
listened
but
to?
background jazz.
The top of his list was background jazz music. It's like, great. That's your favorite genre.
Miles Davis comes through for the win. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think about Higher Vibrations and like modern music and pop music? Do you have a spot in there?
I don't know. That's not really. I guess that's not really for me to decide. That's more for the masses to decide. You know, because at the end of the day, that's kind of what pop music is what the masses think is the most popular and worth listening to songs. But
Hit or
maybe
miss.
it'd be cool for sure.
Yeah.
I think in
Do you
terms
think
of
they're doing a good job
with what
picking
deciding
the
music?
shit? Yeah.
Could get a little bit better.
Yeah.
Could get a little bit better.
It's hard for me to say because music is such a subjective thing, and there's definitely songs like I hear on the radio that I find myself either going like, "Oh, this is catchy. I dig whatever about this song," and there's also songs where I'm just like, "Oh, this is annoying. I can't stand this. I don't know why this is on the radio." but you know, it's different for everyone. So
Yeah.
that's why I feel like it's hard for me to really say. I guess it's just.
You were you handled that question much better than I would have. 'Cause I'm a huge music snob. I feel like Jake was kind of.
I was at
Feeling
one
it.
point.
I just we go back to work and jobs. It's like when I worked at Quick Fill, man. They'd play the radio and it was like the same 5 songs over and over and over again, and then it would switch up the same 5 songs but a different order.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, is that somebody trying to mess around? I'm like, dude, there's millions of songs out there.
Right.
I feel like with pop music though, I don't know how you guys are. I'm definitely guilty of this. I feel like when most people hit a certain age, and maybe around like 30 or so, maybe a little younger, a little older, you just get generally stuck in listening to what you like and you don't listen to new things. So I think pop music is really a collection of what like teenagers and young people are listening to.
Yeah.
And that's probably
swine.
that's probably
They
why you
haven't learned
hate it.
enough yet. They haven't learned. Jake gets it.
You don't even know what the bass is in the song.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard different times where there was like 10 fucking songs all about like things catching on fire, and I was like, dude, did you like send out to all the songwriters in like LA or Nashville or whatever, like, yo, we need songs about fucking fire, and then they just pumped out like 10 songs and they're all top 10 hits, and
The collective unconscious of LA is like fire.
we need this right now. It was like 3 years ago. It's like that Adele song, okay, fire to the rain. Yeah, that was a horrible impression, but like there were 10 other songs that were all about fire. And
I'm thinking "This Girl's on Fire." You remember that song? That song was
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of kind of like that song, no?
Then you got Stick Figures, Fire on the Horizon.
First time I heard that song, my neighbor's house was almost burning to the ground.
that's kind of a weird coincidence.
It was crazy, man. Had Spotify Discovery on, and yeah, Fire on the Horizon by Stick Figure came out. I don't know if you've heard that song before, but the chorus is like, there's a fire on the horizon. And I look over, because I'm parked in my ex's driveway, and there is like a 10-foot high fire in my neighbor's and her neighbor's yard, and it's melting the siding of their house. And I'm just
Jeez.
like, I'm in awe. I'm also scared because I'm like, well, I hope they're okay. Should I call like 911? But oh my god, what a spectacle the universe is putting on for me right now.
I'm seeing it like you're just like in your car blaring this song, and they're like, "What the fuck, dude? Like inappropriate. Help us!"
Okay,
Like,
right now.
It's not my fault y'all left your bonfire unattended.
Turn it up.
Yeah.
imagine people with like buckets of water, like, "Don't just play this fire song, dude. Help us!"
Yeah,
Like,
the spirit, the collective unconsciousness already put you in this ridiculous like synchronicity of occasions, and now you're just strengthening it by sitting there and turning the music up louder.
The
You're
fire
feeding
department
fire.
did show up within like 30 seconds of me noticing, so they were fine, but it was still a really funny coincidence.
Yeah. That's the stuff that lets me know that there's like somebody out there and they like to fuck around with us sometimes.
They have a good sense of humor.
Yeah, doing weird
For
shit
sure,
like that.
for sure. But to go back to the subject though, I feel like for me, like, I got made fun of a lot for my music tastes over the years, because when I was really into like heavier stuff in high school, it was like a pissing contest, like who listens to the heaviest this,
Shit,
that, or
yeah.
the other, and it's like,
Why? What were you
to that?
listening to?
see, he's about to do it.
I'm about to do it right now, dude. Take you
gonna
all the way
bully me.
back. Avenged Sevenfold?
I 10th grade, they were my favorite band. Avenged
Oh,
Sevenfold.
no.
I was really into like Icy Stars.
I like Icy Stars.
Here's the one that I always got shit for: Black Veil Brides.
Oh, yeah?
I love
They're
their
okay,
music
too.
so much, and I always got shit for it.
See, I discovered like Black Veil Brides and Icy Stars like later in life. Like that was a little bit past my like metal like high school days.
Yeah. Escape the Fate was another big one
Escape
for
the
me.
Fate. They're all decent like screamo metal bands. I like my shit a little bit heavier though. I was listening to like Black Dahlia Murder and Acacia Strain and shit like that. So.
Didn't we play with Black Dahlia when we were Human Delusion?
Yeah, I think
What?
they came to BT. I think they came to
At B-
BT.
they did play at BT like
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yeah, that's when we played with them.
That's crazy as fuck, dude. You guys are like my heroes.
I think we had We Came as Romans as well. in,
Yeah, and Icy Stars played at that show too, right?
yeah.
Icy Stars and We Came as Romans. Yeah, that was good shit, dude.
But I think from that experience in high school of like it being such like, oh, you listen to them,
Pussy.
well, yeah, pussy, bitch, blah blah blah. It got to a point where I was just like, this stuff is so subjective, and it's so like, I'm not good. I feel like I got a sense of just like empathy. Where I'm like, I'm not gonna bully someone for their music taste, because there's definitely stuff other people listen to. I'm just like, that is not for me at all. but it's like I said, it's so subjective, and if music has helped me the way it has, I'm not going to judge someone else if something's helping them get through this crazy thing we call life. And
It's very big of you.
If it makes it easier for them, cool. But yeah, I appreciate a lot of different genres. To go back to the original question, like I'll still listen to heavy metal stuff if I'm in the mood for it. Obviously reggae of all types, roots, modern, rock. I'm big into EDM stuff like dubstep, any kind of bass music. I mean, I was raised on like hip hop and stuff too, and my parents used to like enter like stereo competitions, so they were like had like the big sound systems in their trunk. So I've always been around loud bass and stuff like that. So
Love that.
pretty much every a little bit of everything.
Everything at once, baby.
I can't exactly, but I can't name a single like country song. But there's
What about
definitely
like bluegrass and folk?
yeah, that's cool for me, dude. Like, I don't listen to it. Like, I can't. Well, I mean, there is some stuff that really heavily leans on that I'll listen to. But I mean, I'm definitely exposed to it a lot. Like the kind of local festivals around here. It's pretty
Sure.
popular in like the northeastern PA area in Ohio and stuff. So I'm cool with it all, man. Just not all of it. I'm cool with
Yeah.
all the genres, not every song in the genres, though.
Right. Yeah.
I take it you're into bluegrass.
I like everything too. See, I listen to a lot of reggae. I lived with he always enters the show, Tyler, for like a few years, and he's like all bluegrass all the time.
Yeah.
And so
I watched his thing you guys did.
the video. That's
Yeah.
like my fucking proudest accomplishment in my video making career, I think. So
Good
thank you for
stuff.
watching it. Yeah,
Yeah, of
dude.
course.
I was
Good
super
stuff.
pumped on it. But yeah, I listen to a good bit of folk. I listen to a lot of reggae. I still listen to some metal sometimes. Lately, I listen to a lot of like lo-fi hip hop girl, or lo-fi girl or whatever she's on YouTube. I play that around in the background all the time.
To the girl who's always studying.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay,
yeah,
okay, I was like,
yeah.
wait.
Chill beats to study / relax to.
We as a band collectively had a lo-fi phase. I know it was really weird. All of us just really got into lo-fi hip hop all at once for no apparent reason.
It's good. It's good music to work to. And I've been listening to a little bit more ambient music since we've had Adam on the show. One Wayness.
Yeah.
He makes some really interesting ambient music. I don't know how else to really classify it. I don't even know if I would technically call it music, but it's awesome and I greatly enjoy it.
Some Zen stuff.
Some real zen, chill, fucking birds chirping over like weird wubs.
It's Zen stuff, baby.
It's fantastic. Also very good for like creating, I think. It makes me like it's awesome for like editing shit. Like I'll put that on because I can still like hear whatever I'm editing and stuff like that. And it's like at least for videos and stuff, for like music I need to be a little bit more concentrated. But it's good for editing videos because it puts me kind of in that creative like mind space where I'm kind of just like, floating around in the stars and figuring shit out. I appreciate that a lot.
Get you out of your own way.
Yeah.
With the
In
creativity.
the flow.
No doubt. I like that you mentioned that too because I feel like a lot of times music and like all this stuff is kind of divinely inspired. You know what I mean? There's certain shit where I'm just like a vessel, you know what I mean, for the whatever to come out. And we get that a lot from our different creative people that are on here.
I agree with that perspective 100%.
Yeah.
I think we were just talking about that at practice like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Just like a vessel of. He's like, oh no, it was Lapaka. When we were driving out to Michigan. He was like, the songs are already out there in the universe. You just gotta allow it to latch onto you.
Yeah.
Wheel it in.
Yeah.
Wheel it in. No,
Collect it.
Totally. I feel like it's like when I'm writing, it feels like I'm more or less channeling something that's already out there. And it's just like the universe has to show me how to play it the best I can. You know what I mean? I really don't know how to put it into words gracefully, but
I like that.
totally ride on that.
I like the way
idea.
that you said that because like words and everything are all like vibrations. I'm gonna tie it into your name for you guys too right here. You can keep this if you want.
sample it for a song.
Just gotta keep it singular.
The vibration is already out there. All the vibration is already out there, and all the words have been said, all the music, all the notes have already been played and vibrated, and now it's just reassembling them into whatever it is that spirit wants you to create,
Gotta tune into that frequency.
Gotta tune into the vibration. So, do you guys ever catch any flack about playing reggae music?
Yeah, sometimes.
We haven't got too much yet in this vicinity, but I'm sure once we start expanding and we start hitting bigger
What
cities.
the fuck are these white boys doing playing reggae music?
This isn't jaw music. You're not spreading the word of Rastafari and all this stuff. I'm trying to actually do that, but in a way that's not directly pushing it, because I don't feel like it's my place to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate gatekeepers.
Yeah, really.
It's all
And it's
over,
like,
man.
dude, I'm saying the same thing as One Love. It's just I'm not directly saying it the same way, most people would say it. But we've definitely gotten flack for it. Oh, well.
Yeah, fuck those guys, dude. Fuck them.
If you're going to tell me I can't play a music genre because of the color of my skin, well, maybe you should address your underlying internalized racism issues.
Yeah. It's interesting too. I could imagine that like happening. I could see it like in my mind's eye, and it's crazy that like music. Well, maybe it's not crazy, but like it's interesting that things are identified as certain colors that really don't have a color. You know what I mean? Like music. Well.
It's a touchy subject because it's like, yeah, I understand that.
Right. It
the
obviously
roots
it
where
came
from.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's very weird to me, especially when it comes to the style of music, because what Rastafari, a big part of its teaching is that all people came from Africa, regardless of the color of your skin. Okay, well, if you're going to honor that and actually live by that, then why does anyone's skin color matter in the grand scheme of things? You're contradicting yourself at that point. Yeah, so it makes it kind of easy to just kind of ignore it. Be like, well, that's just someone who's angry.
Yeah, people
at
love
the world.
People love to make themselves feel better than other people.
Yeah.
Going back to like your music choices and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, anyone can find anything to make fun of anybody about. It's just, do you want to do that or not?
Yeah, is that the kind of person you want to be, really?
Do you want to onto others as you would onto you, I guess? Is that what the energy you want thrown back at you in the future?
Yeah.
Is the question I think more people should ask themselves. Is just, well, if you don't like how the world is treating you, how are you treating the world? Is there anything you can do to adjust that?
Right.
So you start getting what you want by being what you want.
Exactly. And I think a lot of it comes from like pride in self, which which is like a 7 deadly sin, but in a lot of ways I very much appreciate people that are like take pride in themselves, you know what I mean, and appreciate who they are and what they're doing, and like do certain things a certain way because that's the way they are or the way that they've always been. And not to say that can't be changed or anything, but I do appreciate people that are themselves and take that like recognition or that gratitude or just that ability to appreciate who you are and to have that pride in yourself. It's only when it's like used like self-righteously that it really becomes a problem, I think.
It's the yin and yang of having pride. You can appreciate yourself and you can love yourself, and if you do that, you're going to be happier in life. I feel like everyone definitely should take the time to find the things that they appreciate about themselves and that they love about themselves and give themselves that due credit, because if you don't, you're going to feel like shit all the time.
Yeah,
you have to love yourself and appreciate the little things about yourself, But once it gets to the point of you think you are better than other people because of those things, then you're stepping into the realm of arrogance and just being cocky and being a dick,
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think that there's like that very fine line and that fine balance, and sometimes like positive rewarding experiences where you're like, oh yeah, like somebody passed you on the back like, hey, great fucking song, you know what I mean? It's really easy to turn that into like after it happens like a few times, eventually it's like, fuck yeah, I'm the best goddamn songwriter on planet Earth, and nobody recognizes my talent or my skill or the beauty of my words.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's like, again, it's a fine line. It's how you talk to yourself, because if you don't think that you're the best at what you do, then you're kind of holding yourself back a little bit too. You got to have that level of confidence in yourself if you're putting things out into the world.
Just how are you going to express that feeling of confidence, though?
And at the same time, if you don't have that, you can you just hate yourself and piss on everything that you ever create or ever do, and then you never...
And piss on things other people create.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I would think it'd be more like, you guys get established, you're already established, but more established big. You get some people, fans that grow up with the music and want to, emulate you in some way. And they're like, oh, higher vibration, can you teach us? And you're like, teach you? No, you could never be me, you fucking nerd. Get out of here,
Yeah.
Dweeb.
You ain't got what it takes.
That's the next generation. You gotta teach them. I mean, I don't know what I have to teach at this point because I'm still young and I'm still growing, but definitely it's important to uplift the younger generations and stuff because that's literally the future.
Yeah, next in line.
We do it for the kids, even though we say they're assholes all the time in other episodes, but really it is all for the kids.
But who can't?
I
Yeah.
think the older people are a bit more asshole-ish.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It just depends.
It
Depends on the kid, dude. Some kids are fucking great, you know what I mean? There's these feral children that I really love that live out in the woods and stuff in this commune. Or not, it's not a commune, but it's a community, and they're unschooled and shit, and they're the best little fucking kids ever. They're super nice and kind. And then you meet other kids that are just
little bastards.
Little
city
bastards.
kids.
Can you buy me Roblox money?
Yeah, entitled to every little thing.
My Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah.
That's my iPad.
All right. You can't touch that. What are you doing here?
We played Minecraft tonight.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like everything, it's a balance, and it's all about what you're brought up with. You know what I mean? If we don't have these character building experiences, being made fun of for liking soft music or anything else, we don't develop into the people today and turn those attributes into something that can be admirable. You know what I mean?
You have to go through that bad to go, man, I don't like the way that feels.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to make anybody else feel that way.
Well, hopefully, yeah.
It goes one of two ways. It's either that direction, which thankfully is the one we've gone in, or I suffered, so why shouldn't you also suffer?
Right. Or everything is just suffering and then you isolate.
Yep.
Or both.
Or all of them. There's so many different things that can happen.
Just got some healing to do if that's the case, though.
Yeah. You got to spend some time and grow and develop. And again, it comes back to having a positive mentor, you know what I mean, that can kind of guide you through those experiences that are challenging or difficult. And so many people are missing that in their lives. Mm-hmm. And it makes it really challenging. And that's probably why they listen to shitty music Star 104 and whatever else out there,
I don't think it's even Star 104 anymore, dude. I think it's a different frequency now.
What?
I don't even remember the last time I even listened to the radio.
Yeah, I've been I still listen to Gannon radio. That's about it, though.
I listened to that WQLN.
Yeah, I listen to that too.
91.3.
Yeah.
I'm thinking somebody hurt you with how you judging people's music.
No, I was just a really big elitist, arrogant little child for sure.
So you were one of the pricks.
I was one of the bully. I was short and had something to prove to everybody that I was 10 feet tall in my mind.
Got little man syndrome.
It's big time, dude. That's why I got a podcast and shit.
So look at me.
You will listen to me, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Don't talk to me like that.
Right.
I'm on that.
Put some respect on my name.
I'm on that scale too. I'm only this much taller than Tony, so we're
Wow,
both
this much? Yeah, dude. Yeah, that sounds right.
Woo! They're going to actually fight each other now.
Someday.
It's what we do.
I got
after
20 bucks.
After every podcast.
What you don't know is his girlfriend Celinda is a top-notch makeup artist. We're just covered in fucking bruises. We just beat the shit out of each other every week.
She's a real savior of the podcast for sure.
Do I need to call somebody?
Yeah, the fucking police.
Hit you with that Morse code.
If you see me in a fight with a bear, help the bear.
Yeah, what's that secret code word that you're supposed to say if you call 911 and you're being domestically abused?
Fire. No, that's.
I think you're supposed to ask for a pizza or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. With the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, so if anybody's out there and you got a pizza, I guess bring it over.
Don't you fucking dare bring that pizza over.
Pizza with extra
extra
Boom! Yeah. Punch through the door.
Yeah. You like pepperoni?
I don't miss delivering pizzas.
No.
I do sometimes.
I feel like that's an interesting job to have, kind of. You never know what you're going to run into. People are unpredictable. And everybody eats pizza, you know what I mean? You got, like, super well-to-do people, and you got,
seen
like...
weird things in my day.
Even vegan people eat pizza.
Yeah. All of them, dude. But I don't know, life is just really weird, dude, and people come from so many different walks and have tried to travel their own paths, and it really is up to them whether or not they want to, you know, allow that to define them or to define themselves.
Mm-hmm. There's this African tribe called the Bwiti, and they have this view on life like it's two movies, and the first movie is up until you're 18, and it's all directed for you, and you know, it's directed by your family, your friends, everything you're subjected to. And then once you become a full-fledged adult, you have the choice to either let that movie continue being directed, or you can direct your own movie from that point on. Yeah, you can use that. It's the same thing of just, you can define your life, or you can let your life define you. And there's always going to be things you can't control, and that just happen to you outside of your control, but you still, with enough, you know, mental training and self-work and stuff, can, you know, get used to how to handle and how you respond to those situations, you know. Like, we, on our way back from our first weekender earlier this year, back in April, the last night my car broke down on our way back home. Oof. And we had a whole trailer full of gear. It's like 4 in the morning. And we're just like, okay, well, we don't have money, really. I mean, we had enough money to get home, but, you know, we don't really have that much money. We're stranded out here. We have, like I said, a whole trailer full of gear and my SUV. What do we do? And it was super stressful, and we didn't get home till like 5 or 6 in the morning. It took like 3 or 4 cars to like
45 minutes away.
It sucked. It was like a kick in the nuts. But that was a situation that left a big impact on me personally, where it had me like, do I actually want to do this? Do I really want to go and travel and put myself through stuff like this? And, you know, after a lot of contemplating, it's like, well, why let that one moment ruin this for me, you know?
Sure.
I could either let that moment break me, or keep going and just say, you know what, this is what every touring musician goes through at some point. It's not the end of the world. I'm fine. I'm with my friends. We have a support system that's going to get us through this, you know? Like, you know, just choosing how you react to life is how you really build your own life. And, you know, I guess that's all I have to say about that.
No, that's good.
I could keep rambling, but it's
like,
not going to go anywhere.
It's like the crying baby. Like, a baby cries at every new pain they feel because it's the most painful thing they've ever experienced. I mean, that's what happens when you do anything new in life. Like, the first time you reach any kind of conflict, it's like you've never dealt with it before. So you're like, this is, I bet hopefully it doesn't happen. I'm not putting that on you. But if the car ever broke down, again, I'm sure you wouldn't, like, it wouldn't be as, like, do or die as the first time.
Building.
Damn, this bullshit.
We've been here before.
Right. And I think that, like, another big part of it is just having, like, that backed momentum to carry you through those kinds of situations, you know what I mean? Like, you guys have been doing this for a while. You can't just, like, quit the fucking band because the car breaks down. You gotta fix the car. Because there's still more shows, you know what I mean? There's still more shit already, like, in the future. And it would be, like, I feel like this about the show all the time, is that there's too much momentum to stop now. It would be more work to stop than it would be to just keep fucking going.
So you're gonna be like, well, we gotta get FOMO, you know, for the rest of your life. What if I would have just continued it with all the momentum it was getting, you know?
Yeah.
And end up regretting that
Yeah,
later
for
in life,
sure.
you know?
For sure.
You'd be 80, 85 with your grandkids, like, well, the car broke down in Ashtabula. And I just gave up on it. I just
left the car there and
It was the Upper Bayfront.
Upper Bayfront. I could have been a star.
It was 13 miles from Penn State Barrett.
Oh, Jesus.
It was such a kick in the nuts.
Yeah, that's like right here. That's like home.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Well, that's going to be the next challenge, is when it inevitably happens, when we're in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Yeah.
And when we played that Johnstown show, it was like
Which
the
one was
one,
Johnstown?
the Johnstown. Was
that the Keystoners?
I don't.
I think.
Oh no, the Austin Dam. The Austin Dam. I'm thinking of.
That place was
one.
scary.
I thought I was lost for sure.
I thought my car was going to flip over, dude. They had a hill to get into this park. It's like that freaking steep.
Nice.
There's no guardrails. It's just nothing but mud.
It's nothing but mud.
Hell yeah.
And all
every
you-
other car's already traveled up and down and packed it real slick.
You can see the tire tracks in it. Getting down wasn't hard, but the whole time we were there, I was like, I'm dreading making it up that hill. I literally like got myself in alignment with it and then like backed up and like just floored it up the hill.
Hell yeah.
Not reliving magic moments, man.
Dude, when we were driving, I didn't have GPS for like 40 minutes, and I was just driving. I'm like, yeah, I hope I'm on the right road. And eventually,
Right.
GPS is like, make a left. I was like, okay, cool.
Thank you, just in time.
Whip it.
That's when you know you're like deep in the woods too.
GPS.
All the best festivals are in the middle of nowhere. I've come to
True.
find. They're in the middle of the woods or some random field.
Yeah.
10 to 20 miles or more. I mean, usually more than that.
I love the ones that you
know.
look at when they're like not festival ready, and you're just like, yeah, this is the fucking spot. And it's just like a grass field with like trees around it and shit, and you're like, yeah.
The more out in the middle of nowhere it is, the better. That's the rule.
Yeah. I mean, and then you get something like Burning Man this year where it rains and everyone's stuck for like 2 weeks. I guess that can be fun too.
I don't like sand.
Anywhere in the middle of nowhere where sand isn't involved.
I think that really goes to speak in a big way of like human nature too, to like find this unconquerable plot of land, and now we're gonna have
Stomp our feet.
we're gonna conquer it and make it livable and human, and we're gonna play fucking really loud music and build a stage and have all these people out here and all the stuff that thousands of people need to survive for a weekend in the middle of nowhere just because we're fucking human beings and we can do shit like that.
It sounds so insane
It's-
when you actually talk it out and you like describe what's actually happening.
Like, yeah, we're gonna get a bunch of fucking 20-year-olds out here. They're gonna get real high, real drunk, and we're gonna play the loudest fucking music that you can hear from 3 miles away. So
For 3 days.
For three
whole days or more.
Yeah.
Non-stop.
We're gonna bring all of this shit out here from wherever the fuck it is, like 5 miles away. We're gonna pay tons and tons and gobs of money just to like bring all this shit out here so people can have fun.
I feel horrible for not really, but I feel bad for the people who it's their first festival and they don't know what to expect, and they think the music stops at some point.
Oh no,
It's all
never
night.
stops.
No.
It's all
Cannon
night.
fire too.
right?
If you're at the ledges, they got literal dynamite that go up.
Yeah. Plus all like the personal campsite rigs that are up there and like
This dude
random
brings his-
drum circles.
This dude brings his bass amp and then plugs it into a generator and just blasts
man.
music.
My man.
There's this one time we camped out at this festival at Nelson Ledges out in Garrettsville. This festival was called Sunny Days. It was 2021
That's sunny days.
or
Is that
It was
the
20
Grateful Dead fest they do out there?
no, it's Tropodelic.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, their festival. I think it was 2021. It was the first festival after like the pandemic happened, so it was like super emotional and crazy.
Yeah.
But we got there and we already bought our tickets. We're like, there's no camp spots left. And we're like, what do you mean? We bought our tickets like months ago. Like there should be room for us still, unless you guys suck at like figuring out how much people you can fit in this place. But we got put in this like back area.
I've had
It's-
that happen there before too.
It's like in this tall grass, dude.
Yeah.
There's like spiders like this big crawling around. And we're like, okay, cool, whatever. we're seasoned festival looks. We can make this work. So, everything's fine, but then it gets to nighttime, and nobody in the entire stretch of campsites that we're in is playing any music at all. Like, it's dead quiet, and we're just like,
What the fuck?
what do we do?
Yeah, we can't let this stand.
I felt bad. We started blasting music as loud as we could. We came back from the stage, and everyone's quietly asleep. At one point, we start hearing this 2-year-old crying from one of the other campsites. We're like, first off, why are you bringing your 2-year-old to a festival?
Mm-hmm.
Second off, not my problem. And this lady walks over with her kid. She's like, can I just sit in your hammock for a second with her? She won't quit crying. We're like, yeah, we can turn the music down if you want. She's like, oh no, it's fine. She's just a fucking 2-year-old.
Yeah, the music doesn't matter.
Yeah, she's a 2-year-old. Why are you bringing her to the ledges right now?
Got to see Tropodelic. I don't mind.
Baby's first festival.
Yeah.
Baby's first ego death.
Yes. No, I got stuck. We got stuck back there too, and it was fucking ridiculous. Well, I don't know if it was the same exact area, but it was like a grass, and it was surrounded by woods, and everybody's camping in the grass, and we're like, "Fuck this! We're going over in those unscattered woods," and we chopped down Well, we didn't chop down any big trees, but a bunch of saplings and cleared this way. And everybody's all of our friends that were in normal camping spots that came there early were like, "Oh, this is fucking stupid. You guys suck. Blah blah blah. You should came here earlier." And we're like, "Yeah, fuck you guys. We're partying right fucking here this whole time." And then everybody from the other campsite, our other friend campsite or whatever, ended up coming over to our campsite and hanging out there all night because we're just bad. I don't know.
The party.
It was just the party, dude. That's where it was at. Everybody talked shit, and then they were just like, "Yeah, actually, this is pretty legit back here."
That's how it was at Pyro. We had our Pyro campsite.
Mm-hmm.
Bree from Land of Pan and them, they parked miles away, and then woke up the next morning. They were all parked next.
Everyone's out.
Hell yeah.
Sleeping in the van.
Yeah.
That's the best festival I've ever been to, hands down. I just got to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Pyro.
It looked really fun. Pyros looked really fun for years. I'm glad it's back at the Ledges now.
It was actually in Michigan this year.
Oh, what the fuck?
Well, fall pyro. Summer pyro is usually somewhere in Ohio.
Somewhere in Ohio?
We played fall pyro.
I thought they had one at the Ledges this year. Because I saw a bunch of videos on YouTube of people out at the Ledges chopping down trees and clearing brush and shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they had all the bad fish festivals.
They always have.
They always have
fish.
the Grateful Dead festival. I forgot what it's called.
Lazy
We got
Daisy.
Classic Fest.
Yeah, all those. It could have been any of those.
Yeah.
A lot of them happened at the same time. I think fall bad fish and fall pyro were on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or on the same weekend.
Best pizza in the world out there too.
The disco pizza.
Disco pizza. Hell
Almost
yeah.
said Althea's, but their sandwich.
Those sandwiches are crazy. Have you had Althea's at the Ledges? Our homie Joe Briggs, he's in Land of Panda. He works there. They have this one sandwich called the Pineapple Express. Oh my god, it is the best thing I have. When you're it's day 3, you've already had the peak of your weekend, and you're just coming down from everything. You bite into that while looking at the quarry. It's just
magic.
It's just heaven, heaven on earth, man.
Especially when you get tired of those sweaty ass glizzies for 3 days. I said, "Damn, I'm tired of eating these hot dogs, man."
Yeah.
He said, "What
That
we
you
got in
cooked
the
on a
fridge?"
stick over a fire with no bun.
I bring the buns.
How many ways can we cook this hot dog? Change it
Right.
up.
Well, guys, this has been super fun. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us today. Go check out the concert with Big Blitz. When is it? November
17th.
Oh, yeah.
November 17th. Be there, everybody. It's going to be awesome. See some sweet sax, see our vibration, and we'll see you guys there. Peace out, everybody. Y'all are the best. Thanks for liking, sponsoring, subscribing, all of those things. Do it. If you haven't yet, all of you who have, you're the best. Patreon people, you're the best. We love ya. Deuces.